The world is full of suffering, and it is not by accident. Every day, people fight in wars, not because they want to, but because leaders send them to battle. These wars destroy homes, families, and entire countries. The people who start wars usually do not suffer. They sit safely in big offices while soldiers and innocent people pay the price. Then there is poverty. Millions of people do not have enough food to eat or a safe place to sleep. They work hard every day, but still struggle to survive. Meanwhile, a few rich and powerful people have more money than they could ever spend in their lifetime. The system is designed to keep things this way. The rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Oppression happens when certain groups of people are treated unfairly just because of their race, gender, or beliefs. They are denied opportunities, their voices are ignored, and they are forced to live under rules that only benefit the powerful. History is full of people who fought against oppression, but the system always finds new ways to keep control. We are often told that the world is getting better. We have new technology, new inventions, and new ways of living. But is life really improving for everyone? While some people enjoy modern comforts, billions still suffer groward. Governments promise change, but most of the time, nothing really changes. People work their whole lives hoping for a better future, but they are always stuck in the same cycle. Work, pay bills, struggle, and repeat. Society teaches us to be patient and believe that things will improve over time. But for many, life remains just as hard as it was for their parents and grandparents. The truth is, progress is not always real. It is like a carrot on a stick, always just out of reach. People believe they are moving forward, but in reality, they are running in circles. Time controls everything. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you are following a clock. You go to school or work at certain hours, eat at certain times, and go to bed when it is late. But who decided these rules? Why do we let time control us? Time makes people anxious. You worry about deadlines, about growing older, about how much time you have left. People are always in a rush, trying to do as much as possible before time runs out. But no matter how fast you go, time always wins in the end. Time also makes suffering worse. If you lose a loved one, time does not heal the pain. It just reminds you that they are gone forever. If you make a mistake, time does not let you go back and fix it. It moves forward without mercy, taking away your childhood, your energy, and eventually, your life. The system uses time as a way to keep people trapped. You spend years in school, then years working, and by the time you are finally free, you are too old to enjoy it. Time is not your friend. It is the invisible cage that keeps everyone in place. Many people believe in a higher power, a God who created the world and watches over them. But what if this God is not what we think? What if this world was not made for our happiness, but for our suffering? Some ancient teachings talk about a being called the demiurge. This being is not a loving God, but a ruler who created the world to keep people trapped. It wants people to worship it, obey its rules, and never question why life is full of pain. It tricks people into believing that suffering is normal and that they must follow its laws to find happiness. The demiurge creates illusions to keep people blind. It makes people believe that their struggles are tests, that their pain has a purpose, and that if they suffer enough, they will be rewarded. But the truth is, the demiurge does not want people to be free. It wants them to stay trapped in its world, working, struggling, and obeying without question. To keep people under control, the system uses three powerful tools: religion, politics, and the economy. Religion tells people what to believe. It teaches them to follow rules, to fear punishment, and to wait for rewards in the next life. Many religions say that suffering is good, that it makes people pure, and that they should accept their pain instead of fighting against it. Instead of freeing people, religion often makes them easier to control. Politics gives people the illusion of choice. Every few years, they vote for leaders who promise change, but the system never really changes. The rich stay rich, the poor stay poor, and the same problems continue. Leaders may change, but the system remains the same. It is like a game where no matter how you play, the outcome is already decided. The economy makes sure people stay busy. From childhood, people are told to get an education, find a job, and work for money. But no matter how hard they work, they are never truly free. They always need more money to survive, so they keep working until they are too old to enjoy life. The system makes sure they spend their whole lives chasing wealth, only to realize too late that they were never meant to win. These three systems work together to keep people trapped. They create rules, control beliefs, and make sure everyone follows the same path, one that leads nowhere. Many people believe in reincarnation, the idea that when you die, you are born again in a new body. Some think this is a good thing, a chance to start over. But what if reincarnation is not a blessing, but a trap? If life is full of suffering, why would anyone want to come back? What if people are being forced to return, not because they choose to, but because the system won't let them leave? Imagine waking up in a maze. You try to escape, but every time you reach the end, you are pulled back to the beginning. That is what reincarnation might be, a never-ending cycle where people live, suffer, die, and then start all over again. They forget their past lives, so they never realize they are trapped. Some say that after death, souls are tricked into returning. They are shown bright lights, told to follow them, and convinced that they need to come back to learn more lessons. But these lessons never end. Life after life, they struggle, hoping that one day they will finally be free. But freedom never comes because the system does not want them to leave. The cycle continues, and suffering never stops. Unless people realize they are trapped, they will keep coming back, lifetime after lifetime, forever prisoners in a world designed to keep them under control. Most people believe suffering is just a part of life, something random that happens to everyone. But what if suffering isn't just an accident? What if it's actually being used by those in power? Throughout history, powerful groups, governments, corporations, and elites have found ways to use human pain as a resource. Just like money, food, or energy, suffering can be controlled, harvested, and turned into power. How? By keeping people in a constant state of fear, exhaustion, and desperation. When people are suffering, whether from war, poverty, or stress, they are easier to manipulate. A hungry person will accept terrible working conditions just to afford food. A scared person will give up their freedom in exchange for protection. A tired person won't have the energy to fight back. This is how suffering becomes a tool. It keeps the system running exactly as those in power want it to. Many industries profit directly from suffering. Instead of solving problems, they create or prolong them to make money. The war industry. If wars ended, companies that sell weapons and military equipment would lose billions of dollars. So wars continue, and innocent people suffer while a few grow richer. The pharmaceutical industry. Instead of curing diseases, many companies focus on selling expensive treatments. A sick population means constant profit. The prison system. Many countries treat prisons like businesses, making money from keeping people locked up. Some even create unfair laws just to fill more cells. The media and social media. Fear, anger, and outrage get more views and clicks than happiness or peace. News and online platforms push negative emotions because it keeps people addicted, distracted, and easily influenced. Even charities, which claim to help people, often depend on suffering. If problems disappeared, they would have no reason to exist. Many organizations never truly fix the issues they claim to fight. They just manage them to stay relevant. The system doesn't just control people physically, it controls them mentally and emotionally as well. Guilt and shame are also powerful. People are made to feel guilty for questioning authority, for not working hard enough, or for wanting something different from what society tells them is right. This guilt makes them police themselves so no one else has to. Exhaustion and stress make people too tired to think. The system makes life so difficult, long work hours, endless bills, constant pressure, that people don't have the energy to resist. Instead, they focus only on survival. All of this is not an accident. It is a design. The more people suffer, the easier they are to control, exploit, and use. And as long as people don't see what's happening, the cycle continues. Breaking free starts with awareness. When you recognize the game being played, you can step out of it. Suffering doesn't have to be your destiny. It's only a trap if you don't see it. Stories shape how we see the world. They are passed down through generations, teaching us what to believe, how to behave, and what to fear. But what if many of the stories we've been told, both ancient and modern, aren't just tales, but messages? What if they contain hidden warnings about the system we are trapped in? Throughout history, ancient myths have described a world of endless struggle, where people are punished for seeking truth and trapped in cycles of suffering. These myths weren't just entertainment, they were survival guides, warning future generations about the system of control. Sisyphus. In Greek mythology, Sisyphus was punished by the gods, forced to roll a boulder up a hill, only for it to roll back down every time he neared the top. His suffering never ended. This isn't just a sad story, it's a warning about the reality of human life under control. We work, we struggle, we chase success, but the system ensures that we never truly win. Prometheus, he gave fire, knowledge to humans, helping them break free from ignorance. His reward? Eternal torture. The message is clear, those who challenge the system are punished. The Egyptian duat, underworld. In ancient Egyptian belief, the afterlife wasn't a peaceful place. It was filled with obstacles, trials, and dangers. Souls had to prove themselves worthy of escape. This reflects a hidden truth. Breaking free from the system is difficult, and most people don't make it. These myths, and many others, suggest that human life is not free, but a controlled existence. The suffering we experience is not random, but part of a system designed to keep us in place. Ancient myths warned us about the trap. But today's stories often do the opposite, they keep us inside it. The American dream. The idea that hard work leads to success is a modern myth. It keeps people working endlessly, believing that if they just try harder, they will escape poverty and suffering. But in reality, the system is designed so that only a small percentage ever win. The rest are just rolling Sisyphus's boulder. Superhero movies and dystopian stories. Many popular movies and books show heroes fighting against powerful forces, but never actually defeating them. The message? The system is too strong, resistance is futile, and suffering is inevitable. Even when a villain is defeated, another one always rises. The cycle never ends. Religion's role in control. Many religions teach people to accept suffering as part of life. Instead of fighting back, people are told to be patient, trust the plan, or wait for rewards in the afterlife. This keeps people passive, ensuring they never challenge the system. While ancient myths warned us, modern storytelling often keeps us asleep. The narratives are designed to make people accept suffering, believe in false hope, and never question the bigger picture. The only way to escape this trap is through awareness. Once you see the patterns, how myths, stories, and beliefs shape your reality, you can begin to question them. Why do the same struggles repeat throughout history? Why are we told to accept suffering as normal? Who benefits from our belief in these narratives?